Hello guys, this is Amol Khedkar. I welcome you to this video. Today we'll be talking about the article that you see on your screen. This is from the Forbes magazine. Indian tech graduate students plummeted in US before COVID-19. This will be an interesting article again. I have been making this kind of study abroad series. I have covered countries like Canada, Australia, and Europe. So go and check all those videos out. They are on my channel. And also, I do have a playlist on my channel which is titled Study Abroad. And you can go and check all those videos out. I dissect each and every country in that playlist. So before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel because you are not going to get this kind of information anywhere else on the internet. I can guarantee you that. So don't forget to subscribe. So here you can see the Georgetown University campus on your screen. Even before COVID-19 closed colleges and stopped most international travel, fewer graduate students from India, a key source of tech talent in America, decided to study at US universities. Even before coronavirus and even before the international travel stopping, fewer students from India, graduate students from India, a key source of tech talent in America, decided to study at US universities. So the number has been dropping even before coronavirus. So coronavirus has just made things worse. I have always said this, okay? Coronavirus is just an excuse that people are using for their own misdoings, but things have been falling apart even before in America. More recently, the Trump administration imposed new rules against the admission of Chinese graduate students and is considering suspending or eliminating optional practical training (OPT) for international students. Look at this. So, recently, Trump administration imposed new rules against admission of Chinese graduate students. Even Trump recently stopped all the travel from China and Chinese airlines into America and is considering suspending or eliminating OPT for international students. I studied in America. If you don't know, I have 2 degrees from the US. I did my master's in computer science from University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and I also did my MBA in finance from Kelly School of Business in the state of Indiana. I have been on the OPT, which is the optional practical training, which is like a period after you complete your studies where you can work. But now they are considering even suspending or eliminating OPT altogether. So again, America first. I've been making this kind of sarcastic statements about this country that I hate with my guts. But yeah, this is America. Restrictive immigration policies in the US combined with more attractive policies in Canada have shifted the flow of international students, which carries major implications from America's tech future. So what it is saying is that make all of these restrictive policies are making Canada a more favorable destination. But to be honest with you, I have made a video about Canada as well, where I bash Canada as well because I think international students are just big business for Canada and for Australia. Go and check all those videos out. So I think at the end of the day, all these western countries are just collapsing, and they are just going to keep on having a lesser and lesser share of the world economy. And that's why I've been saying that the future is Asian. You just cannot dispute that the future is Asian. The future is in Asia, in India, in China, in Turkey, in Russia, in Indonesia. The future is nowhere in the West or in the Europe. The number of international students from India enrolled in graduate level computer science and engineering at US universities declined by more than 25% between 2016 and 2018 academic years. It declined by 25% between just 2016, 2017 and 2018, 2019 academic years. Just between 2 years, the number of international students from India, specifically from India, enrolled in graduate level computer science and engineering programs at US universities. And if you don't know, CS programs, the computer science programs, are one of the most sought after programs in US tech universities. So even I have done like a master's program in computer science from University of Southern California in Los Angeles. So definitely, and this is according to a new analysis of government data by the National Foundation for American Policy, so NFAP. The evidence indicates many Indian students are choosing Canada over the US as the place to study and make their careers. So I don't know whether to laugh or cry on this. So I have been on a study visa in the US. Then I was on a work visa, the so-called maddeningly insane H-1B visa. Now I am on a PR of Canada. But to be honest with you, I don't think that Canada is really a very good place for making out a career. But I mean, people can make their own opinions. But I've made a video about it where I say that the kind of taxes that Canada has and the kind of cost of living that Canada has, it is just impossible for anybody to make a career in Canada. To understand the importance of the decline, note that as recently as 2016-17 academic year, 67% of international graduate students in computer science at US universities were from India. When I studied in the US, that was back in 2010 to 2012, 80% of my classmates were from India. I didn't even feel that I was studying at a US university. That's how crazy it is. So I am not very surprised when this statistic comes along where it says that 67% of international graduate students in computer science at US universities were from India. Definitely true. You just cannot dispute this. People from China have stopped coming to America because China is progressing like anything. And I've always said that, once India starts progressing like anything, and India is progressing right now, okay? So I have a video on my channel which is titled as India in 2030. Go and check that video out. World Bank and World Economic Forum are saying that India in 2030 will be a massive player on the world stage. It will be a dominant power on the world stage. Go and check that video out. You will understand what I mean when I say that the future is Asian. That's why people are just not finding the need to come to America anymore, and I don't think that's unreasonable. It is perfectly it makes perfect sense that people will not find any logic to come to America, because the kind of education that America gives to its own people, like the people who are born in America, they are literally struggling like anything. Look at the current madness that is happening in the US right now. You all might have been looking at your television screens because everybody is in lockdown right now. You might be seeing that, right? Like America is burning. 50 plus cities in America are burning. I have also made a video about it where I say that racial civil war is going on all across America. Go and check that video out. You will understand what I mean by that. So America itself is a hellhole country. It's a shithole country. So how do you expect people from coming from outside of the country to make a life over here? It's just impossible. Data from Canada shows Indian students were not choosing to stay home instead of going to America. Data from Canada shows Indian students were not choosing to stay home instead of going to America. So now, people have left America from India and now they're choosing Canada. But to be honest with you, I think this will just happen for 4 to 5 years, and after that, even Canada will lose its status and people will just stay in India after that. That's just my honest opinion. I don't mince my words on this channel. I've started this channel because I want to say what I want, and that's why I just say what exactly comes to my mind. International students from India studying in Canadian universities rose from 76,000 in 2016 to 172,000 in 2018, almost double. 76,000 in 2016 to 172,000 in 2018, an increase of 127%. So literally 127% increase, reports the Canadian Bureau of International Education. So again, I've made a video about it where I say that international students are just cash cows and big business for Canada. Go and check that video out. You will understand what I mean by that. So I think this trend is also not going to last for long. It is just going to last for like 2 to 3 years, and after that people will just stop coming to Canada as well. The number of Indians who became permanent residents of Canada increased from 39,340 in 2016 to 85,585 in 2019, a rise of more than 117% according to the National Foundation for American Policy Analysis of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada data. I am a permanent resident of Canada. So I am one of these people which is highlighted here, which says that this number increased from 39,340 in 2016 to 85,585 in 2019, a rise of more than 117%. I have also made a video about why I think anybody should not come to Canada in 2020, where I highlight very specifically why Canada is not a very good place to come in 2020. Go and check that video out and you will understand. I will not disclose anything over here. Canada is benefiting from a diversion of young Indian tech workers from US destinations, largely because of the challenges of obtaining and renewing H-1B visas and finding a reliable route to US permanent residence. Do you know how much time does it take to get a green card if you apply today? In 2020, if you apply for a green card, which is like the permanent residence of America, it is just going to take you at least 95 years. This is not an exaggeration. This is not a joke. Go and check out the official statistics of the US immigration site, and you will understand if you apply for a green card today in America, you will have to wait for 95 years if your passport is from India. That's just how shithole country America is. I've been saying this. This is America. America is the most racist and most violent country that I've come across. So that's why people are finding some more reliable route than US permanent residents, said Peter Rekai of the Toronto-based immigration law firm Rekai LLP in an interview. So people are finding, people have given up on this green card madness. Green card. I remember the times when green card was like the sought after thing. So just go 10, 15 years back, and people were literally dying to get a green card of America. Right now, people are spitting on the green card. They don't even want the green card. They want the permanent residence of Canada. And now when they, to be honest with you, this madness is going to go on for like 3 to 4 years. After that, even permanent residence of Canada will just become, completely useless. That's why I think India is the future of the world. I also have a video on this channel where I say that India is the future of the world. I've got like positive and negative comments on that video, but all I can tell you is that I'm not the only one saying this. Look at the trends, look at the statistics. Canadian policies allow for international students to make a smooth transition to work after graduation, which creates a path to permanent residence. Why do you think Canada needs so many people? Because Canada is in desperate need of immigrants. That's why it does all these things. It is for its own self-interest, nothing else. So I don't buy any of this BS about Canada having like a smooth transition between work and graduation. This is all just plain bullshit. However, the Trump administration has plans to restrict, suspend, or eliminate OPT, including in STEM fields. So STEM is like science, technology, engineering, and math. So I studied in the STEM field because I was in the computer science field. So if you observe this carefully, Trump administration has plans to restrict, suspend, or eliminate OPT, including in STEM. So H1B visa in itself is a big madness, and OPT is like something that you do before H1B, which is again a crazy shitty thing. So Trump is going to just eliminate all of these things. OPT allows international students to work after graduation in the US for 12 months or an additional 24 months in the STEM related job. I have been on OPT in the US. I have also been on the STEM related extension. So I have done all these things. So this is directly from the horse's mouth. I have been through these things. I have first-hand experience of these things. I can tell you that this is just not worth it. A number of other restrictions from the administration also would make an education in America less attractive to international students. Definitely true. And why do you think so many universities depend on the international students? If international students stop coming to America, all these universities will literally go bankrupt. All of these so-called big names, Harvard, Stanford, and all of these Ivy League, shitholes, all of them will go bankrupt if international students stop coming to America. That's just a plain fact. Canada's global skills strategy allows many applications for high-skilled foreign professionals to be approved within 2 weeks. Now they are just portraying Canada in like a good light. But to be honest with you, I've been living in Canada for the past 2 years now. Canada is also a shithole country. There's just no doubt about that. In the US, the H1B visa process can take months, with many denials, and the annual limit on H1B visas has been reached for a past 18 fiscal years. Just look at this entire shitty madness. In the US, the H1B visa process can take months. H1B visa process can take months with many denials. There are literally like tons and tons of denials nowadays. And the annual limit on H1B visas has been reached for the past 18 fiscal years. For the past 18 years, the annual limit of H1B visas has been reached like within days. So the competition is so high, and with Trump, literally it's like an icing on the cake. So even Obama did not do anything. People just want to portray Obama as like, the savior of the world. Obama was also a shithole president. This is my honest opinion. Examining the numbers overall, between the 2016-17 and 2018-19 academic years, international students enrolled at US universities declined by 4.3% or 35,740 from this much to this much, according to SAVI's data published by the National Science Foundation. So the number of international students from everywhere in US universities declined. So earlier that data was just from India. But if you look at, people coming to America from everywhere, that declined drastically by almost 4.3%. And this is data from the SAVI's, which is like, Student and Exchange Visitor Information System. I know all these things. I've studied the US immigration system very thoroughly. While undergraduate enrollment of international students dropped by 3.5%, graduate enrollment fell by even more than by 5.2%. So undergraduate enrollment fell by 3.5% and graduate enrollment fell by more, almost double, 5.2%. For engineering, international student enrollment at the graduate level at US universities dropped from this much to this much, a decline of 10,000 or 10.7%. So for engineering, international student enrollment at graduate level at US universities. So this is exactly what I did in America. I did a master's in computer science at USC, and that has literally dropped by 10.7%. The decline was primarily the result of the enrollment of Indian graduate students in engineering falling by 10,870 or 27.5% between these two academic years, noted the NFAP analysis. So what they are saying is that international graduate enrollment at US universities from the entire world fell by 10.7%. Why? Because Indian graduate students, their enrollment fell by almost 27.5%. So just understand this. Why do you think Indian international graduate students are so important for US universities that literally when the number of Indian graduate students falls by 27.5%, the entire world's international graduate students coming to America falls by 10.7%. So India is literally like the India has the lion's share. As I said, 80% of people in most of the US universities right now are from India. No kidding, you might laugh at this statistic, but that is just the exact same fact. Go and watch any computer science course in any of the US universities. You will understand what I mean. You don't even feel like you are studying in America. It just feels like you are at some other course in India itself. In computer science, international student enrollment at graduate level at US universities dropped from 70,000 to 64,000, a decline of 6,050 or 8.5%. As with engineering, the decline was largely due to the enrollment of Indian graduate students in computer science. So again, India is just driving all of this change. The number of graduate students from China enrolled in computer science over this period increased by 3880 or 29.5%, but not enough to overcome the steep drop in Indian graduate students in computer science. What they are saying, just understand this. The number of graduate students from China that are enrolled in America, it increased by just a very meager amount, like 3880. But these students don't stay in the US for long. They just study in the US and then they go back to China, because China is a very developed country right now. But the people from India, they come here and they never go back. They come to America and they never go back. That's why, even if people from China are coming, because people from India have stopped coming, that's why the entire number has dropped significantly. The story was a little better at the undergraduate level for computer science, with international students enrolled at US universities increasing from 29,140 in 2016, 17 academic year to 35,400, a rise of 6,260. So undergraduate level computer science students came to the US from different parts of the world. To be honest with you, I don't even understand why people come to bachelor's degrees in America, because they just spend so much amount of money. If you study for 2 years in America, you literally have so much student debt on you. I can't imagine anybody studying for 4 years in America and having just a piece of paper handed out to you. I also have a video on this channel where I say that Warren Buffett says that college degree is useless. Go and watch that video and you will understand what I mean. However, many more international students come to the US to study computer science at a graduate level than at the undergraduate level. So many more come to the US to study computer science at a graduate level, but 64,580, then at an undergraduate level 35,400. In engineering at the undergraduate level, international student enrollment at the US university is dropped from this much to this much. So I will not go into much details about it. International students are important to America for many reasons. Now we come to the the important part. International students are important to America for many reasons. I've always said these countries want international students because they are cash cows. They bring money. That's the only reason for them. Nothing else. Don't fall for this bullshit of just looking at the websites of these universities and seeing that they are doing something very good and the research is very good. All of that is just plain BS. In engineering and computer science, Indian graduate students have been a prime source of talent for companies in the US, and many Indian immigrants have gone on to create highly successful businesses. Graduate students are also crucial for conducting research and retaining top faculty who would likely move to other careers and thereby weaken American universities as a global center for science without the ability to engage in high-level research. Look at this, Forbes is saying this. When I say that America is in a deep spiral of decline, I am not the only one. Even Forbes agrees with me. More generally, international students subsidize and make more courses available for US students. More generally, international students subsidize. Why do they subsidize? Because they pay 3 times the tuition fees. That's how they subsidize. What the hell does that mean? International students subsidize and make more courses available for US students. US students get cheaper tuition, and the international students are like the cash cows that just keep on, they just keep on filling these seats. While Canada currently has a ban on most foreign travelers, it has made accommodations to help international students, unlike the US. Canada is a country that likes to show that it is helping people. Let me be honest with you. In Canada, people are just very, they tend to just be very emotional many times, and they like to show that they are helping people. But to be honest, they don't. Okay, they don't give a shit about international students or anybody else. All they care about is the money that the students bring to these universities. When the COVID-19 pandemic ends, Canada will be well positioned to attract international students from India and elsewhere. This is Forbes magazine saying. Forbes is a very reputed article. I have made videos about many different articles from Forbes. When the coronavirus pandemic ends, Canada will be well positioned to attract international students from India and elsewhere. But even, I have always said international students are just cash cows, just, plain big business, even for Canada. But Canada will be well positioned to attract these students from India and elsewhere. That's what Forbes is saying. Given the trends before the current crisis, the same cannot be said about the US. Definitely not. And who has written this article? Stuart Anderson, Executive Director of the National Foundation for American Policy. That's what I think. This is, I'm not the only one where when I say that America is like a shithole country. I have done my research about all these things. So I give detailed analysis of these kind of videos on a daily basis. I will stop talking here. If you like my analysis of this article, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Have a good day. Bye-bye.